everyone, and welcome to my game review on Wasteland Survival. Wasteland Survival is like, obviously you survive in Wasteland. So everyone kind of gets the same load up cutscene, Nothing really special in a sense, Pretty much, it's exactly what you would expect from the title. Some type of, disaster has fallen to the world, and you are one of the, human survivors, and then you want to somehow survive, Wasteland survival kind of makes sense. That's what I expected too. So there's plenty of things you can do in Wasteland survival. So there's kind of like two major modes you can play. There's the plunder modes, where pretty much you can go and raid other actual players just like a self-sustaining basis. But here's the issue: as soon as you do this, people can start raiding your base as well. Meaning that can have good things and also bad things. One, now other players can see your base and they can raid and they can destroy your base as well. Kind of meaning one morning, you can wake up and have, or you can go to bed with, like a decent amount of loot left, and then you go to bed and you wake up the next morning, everything is gone, So for most players, I would not recommend doing this right time off of being bad, just because of the point of, it would be since I'd kind of almost jeopardize your beginning in a sense, Since getting actual decent weapons off the bat is not an easy feat, just because, you gotta get really lucky, and repairing your weapons are easier said than done, especially guns. So guns are the best items that you can possibly get your hands on, but here's the one problem with them. So repairing guns is really is easy in a sense, So it's easy because of the fact of, you can go and then sure, you can go and have, more gun bullets, but guess what? Here's what you're gonna pay for it. So making gun bullets or finding them is how you repair the gun. Meaning, sure, you get this set amount of guns, or sorry, the set amount of bullets that you can use per gun, and then you have to go and repair it. So it's kind of like, if you actually wanted to keep on using guns, you have to use them very rarely unless you have no other choice. So most of the players will keep the kind of like mid to long range gun in the second weapon slot, just for the fact of if something does go wrong, having a gun will allow you to very quickly shoot your way out of your issues. But here's that can also be a downside, especially because with the majority of the zombies you can just hit them once, sneak away, sneak back and kill, then keep on rinse and repeat to get more, So it's kind of like you just have to time everything right, and you'll probably be fine. And also, sometimes there's particular things that you have to have guns for, like particularly accessing particular areas. So that's mostly just a balancing thing, making sure players that are under clip on going into these areas where they're probably gonna die, and have a bad time, who going to lose everything to a horde of zombies, So not having having guns will allow you to at least maintain your your existence in a sense, At least with guns you should be able to fight and keep on living, Without guns, it can be a lot harder of a task, but as long as you don't rush headlong into everything, you should be mostly fine, Sure, there's always some things that you can always do better, but that's just the learning curve, Sometimes you just have to play a big game just to figure out tips and tricks, So the game has a lot of ups and downs, kind of like just knowing what you can be doing, or knowing kind of what you should or should not be doing is a really good option. So pretty much you can so in the Wasteland survival game, there's pretty much these almost like a zone in a sense. These zones have tons of different resources in them. obviously, how they, make sure that, that you cannot somehow, you can't just, walk with, like in everything. Is they pretty much have different tiers of, sure, you could go access the decent majority of them, but guess what? If 20 zombies swarm you, you're not gonna last long. No matter how many guns you have, if you just don't have proper armor or food like them, that matter, or bandages or any type of medical supplies, you're just gonna lose. That's unfortunately just how this game works. It's miss killed or be killed. So personally, I say just pretty much do what you can win. So I do not recommend raiding other players until you pretty much have at least your whole entire base secured. Sure, you could go find a place and very easily beat them up and take out their stuff. But here's the downside of doing so. That'll draw their friends' attention to your base, and that'll draw if they have nothing left. Sure, that's a bad thing. But most players don't run around with the best gear on just because of the fact that it's a pain to make and they don't want to use it up on something pointless. So the majority of players will only take out the gun gear if they're actually gonna go try to raid someone else's base. So raiding other people, so you can get loot through two major means. One, raiding other players. Which breaking through the stuff is not the easiest task. So the walls and doors all have pretty much what's like a soft side to it. So pretty much hitting a soft side will do double the damage that hitting a hard side will. That's pretty good, especially because if you plan out your hits right, you can find weak spots in people's bases, Raiding, so if you do actual monuments or the zones instead of doing it, pretty much it's a lot more safer. Instead of having to fight players, the traps, and the other allies, you just have to fight zombies. And as long as you don't have activated the Plunder mode yet, you are pretty much safe to go wherever you kind of want, and you don't have to worry about other players that much. But there is in some of the other zones a few bot players, AI controlled play, bots pretty much, and they are easy to kill just because one, they're really underarmed, and two, you're actually running around with actual weapons, not some wooden stick. I personally rated this game about, I'm gonna say like maybe a 4.3. It could use a few feature changes. I personally don't think. I think that the music could use more too, but that's just my personal opinion. So,